Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Todd Standing. Thank you very much for tuning in to my Sasquatch Sunday video. I am the man who takes people out into the field and has them either live interact with or eyewitness a Sasquatch. I have a very exciting show today. Today, we're going to go into the heavyweight championship of the world, the greatest piece of Sasquatch footage in existence. I'm putting my stuff up against the great champion, the 1967 Patterson footage. I got some stuff to talk about because there's some brand new breaking stuff that you have never seen before. There's a new man in the field of Bigfoot. I had the privilege of speaking with him at length, and he has got some amazing stuff, including what he has done to the Patterson footage. So now, for the first time, not with AI, but using new technology to create clarity in the particular video footage. I mean, we've seen the old looks of the Patterson footage, which don't look great sometimes. When they zoom in on the head and the face, it's very bearded and strange looking. He has brought the game up to a whole new level. I have actually never seen the Sasquatch's ear in any of the footage that I've been able to acquire. So now we can see the ear, and when he zoomed in on the face, it's ridiculous and awesome and amazing. So we got so much to talk about today. Let's get into that, take it step by step. It's gonna be a fantastic video. 2025, when you sign up with my Patreon account on Patreon under Discovering Bigfoot or Todd Standing, you will be given collections of photographs. The Jane collection, like it's never been seen before, the Jake collection, videos, chronicles, and most importantly, in June, to all my Patreon followers, I'll be releasing Discovering Bigfoot Part 2. So much amazing stuff every month exclusively to my Patreon followers, so get involved. This is a change in Bigfoot, ladies and gentlemen. It's a very, very exciting thing. We're gonna be doing boots on the ground investigation. So much to come. Stay tuned for more announcements. Get involved. Go to Todd Standing or Discovering Bigfoot on Patreon. On behalf of Todd Gateward and Todd Standing, we would like to specifically dedicate this review, this look at this new piece of evidence towards the Patterson Gimlin film to Roger Patterson, a man who passed away many years ago, a man who was always a proponent, always spoke well, and showed his support of this footage that he acquired in 1967. I've been a student of this footage for many, many years. Like many people, the Patterson footage is absolutely real. I mean, there's just no doubt about it. I am not the least bit surprised by this new evidence. Let's have a look at a couple of the shots. So here's one of the classic photographs that's been, again, just cleaned up, not AI. There's no AI in this. Again, I've talked to Todd. Todd is actually going to have a documentary, a 90-minute plus documentary. I'll show the preview again at the end of this video, and I'm very excited about what he's told me. We had an extended conversation, and he's even got information about my footage that I'll talk about in a few minutes. So here's the ear, this photograph. So previously we didn't have this kind of quality, this kind of clarity. Now you can clearly see that Patty's ear is sticking out, which I think is absolutely fantastic. Very, very good new evidence. And because of what he's done, so here's another shot that he's had really, really well zoomed in some clarity. So for the first time ever, I'm going to throw my hat in the ring and show you a breakdown of how tall Patterson is after we look at what I've just been dying to look at. When I look at this footage, I'm absolutely freaking blown away by the quality. If you still think that this is not authentic, I don't know what to say to you. I don't think there's much hope in ever convincing you of the blatant, obvious truth. Look at what he's done. So when we look at this new facial that he's clarified, look at the eye. You can see lower eyelashes, right? Are you kidding me? Look at the face. Look at the hairs. This is done in 1967. If you zoomed in on the Planet of the Apes Oscar award-winning makeup in that same era, you would be flabbergasted by how pathetically bad it is. Especially when you get to the details of in and around the nose, the cheeks. Look at that skin. Look at the hairs. That is awesome. Look at the nose, how it comes down. And my favorite, this is my absolute favorite. Even, I know the eye's pretty amazing. Look at this folds of skin under the mouth. That is not human. That is absolutely spectacular. Roger Patterson, you filmed a Bigfoot, my friend. Congratulations. Respect to you. For what you did. I know you've long passed away. For those of you who don't know, he's long since gone. Bob Gimlin, my goodness, I've met Bob Gimlin, an absolute hero of mine, amazing human being, and they absolutely filmed a Sasquatch with 100% certainty. I'm very excited about that. So So that's a couple of things. So Todd's documentary is coming out. Again, at the end of this, I have a little segment. I'll do a bit of a voiceover for his upcoming documentary that he's going to be releasing. Him and I are in talks about a lot of things. What's very exciting is he has new technology to apply to my Sasquatch footage. First of all, can you imagine? So this is awesome. I'm going to give without a doubt, because the Patterson footage produced incredible tracks that go along with the footage, which really put it in a pedestal all up on its own. I feel like as a body of evidence, the Patterson footage just outshines mine. And if there was any debate about it, now with this clarity of the ear, of the eyes, of the mouth, all this clarity, there just can be no debate. As a body, all by itself, the Patterson footage from 1967 has blown anything I've ever done right out of the water. Currently, and I say that currently, because remember what we had before. I could really debate, hey, my footage is pretty clear. It's 1080p. It's definitely high definition. And then Todd came up and went boom and just knocked me on my butt. And I'm very grateful for that, because I just love the Patterson footage and I do like making the comparisons. So can you imagine though? So what if Todd simply applied this technology to my Jane, to my Jake, to my Kubota? Ooh, I'm very excited about that, because I have nothing to hide. I just know it's going to be amazing. And he's actually got another piece of evidence that he's going to apply to this, to do with vibrations. So it was pretty clear how he explained to me. I'm not going to trip over my tongue because I'm just learning about it right now. But obviously everything vibrates at a frequency, and he was applying that to my footage. And he said that the test results were pretty much convincing, or totally convincing, that, again, surprise to nobody, especially not to me, that my footage is absolutely authentic and real. So I'm very, very excited to have that future connection with Todd. It's just a new breakthrough for the discovery of Bigfoot, especially with this Patterson footage. You cannot deny, like, how awesome is it, the clarity of this. So I wanted to throw my hat in the ring too. So this is something I'm going to go through with you that was a little bit of a bonus. So how tall is Patty? And I really, it's been bothering me for a long time, because there's apparently, obviously, anybody who understands the genre very well knows about Bob Herminus and his allegation that he was actually in the suit, which is for those of us who are in the know, is very, very preposterous. There's really no chance that's a suit. There's no chance that Bob Gimlin and Roger Patterson were able to put a suit on and dress it up, and just, it's infinitely preposterous. And I was hoping that I could prove that with the knowledge of this. Look at this foot, guys. This is actually the Patterson foot. This is a molding of it, the reverse of it. Normally you've seen the feet that Roger Patterson has and shows up. I actually have a really gorgeous, very deep, beautiful impression molding. And what I've been able to do based on that molding, I wanted to show that Patty was, exceptionally tall, because I have news for you. My Jane, my female Sasquatch, her track is so similar to this. Oh my God. It's basically the same. I've seen Jane track, and in Nordegg, where Jeff Meldrum eyewitnessed the Sasquatch, and where I did 2 episodes of Survivorman Bigfoot, we also found a female track very much like this. The difference was that it was a little bit larger in the footprint, and the toe, this is about a 14.5-inch track, and we were getting just a little over 15 inches, like 15 inches and a quarter. So there was some size differences. And what I'm seeing, so in the ecology out in nature, you all need to know, as you go north, things get bigger. The biggest bears are the polar bears, or the Kodiak bears, north up in Alaska. As you go south, everything gets smaller. The deer that I've seen in Florida and Texas look like, large dogs compared to the deer that we have up here. So Patty was filmed in Northern California, which is way, way south. I mean, we're talking about California, which is so far south from where I have filmed my Jake and my Jane and my different bits of footage. So the Sasquatch in the biology should therefore be less abundant and larger. And that's what I'm seeing. So, because Jane, the female that I filmed, we've seen her many, many times. I witnessed her over a dozen times with myself and expeditioners that have been out on expedition in the wilderness in her area. And I have her clocked in at about 7'4". So let's have a look at what I did. So 7'4", I'd say plus or minus 2 inches, because I don't have what we have with Patty, where I can definitively get a size comparison and then put it all together. So Jane is 7'4", no taller than 7'6", and certainly no shorter than 7'2". So how tall is Patty? And is she too big for Bob Herminus to have fit into an alleged suit, which is, again, preposterous. I feel ridiculous even mentioning it, but let's go through that. So what I did first here was from this photograph, I got a really good sizing of the foot. So bent it out or brought it out, made it, nice and clear as best I could. Then I went over to get but from this photograph, I cannot see clear ground and I wouldn't be able to decisively figure out where she is exactly on the ground. So I took this really nice foot of hers. This is just a different frame from this particular frame. Now in this frame, first thing I did was, as you can see her leg, I took her leg and twisted it so it's back on the ground. So I would have a reference point to see precisely how tall she is. So I took this very carefully and very neatly put it back on board. And this is the only place where I'd have any kind of noticeable degree of error. I think it's going to be very, very small. I was very precise with this. And from here, now I took her foot that was from the other image and I matched it up to the footprint that we see here, used it, I have it at a different angle though, and put it back over here. And I also added just a hint. So her track measures out at 14.5 inches. And I added a 1/4 inch to the top and the bottom of the track, as you can see here. And then when I put it all together, as you can see, there are 5 15-inch footprints in Patty before we still have a little bit of room. So those 5 prints are clearly not to the top of her head, and that's 75 inches. So we got her there. And then what I did is I can see this little quarter space up here is actually just under 4 inches, so 3.75 inches, which gives her a total height of approximately 78 inches is her height. So that in metric comes out to about 2 meters. And what I'm going to say is, so what I've learned here decisively is Patty is clearly over 6'5", but definitively under 6'9". So about 6'7", somewhere in the middle is what I have her gauged at. And I see a lot of other people have similarities or have had similar measurements in it. So I'm saying plus or minus 2% based on the very specifics that I have with all this. So there's really, I would state my reputation on, she is not shorter than 6'5". To the top of her head, I made a little red line here for that. And she is definitively not taller. She is under 6'9". So again, 2 meters in metric and about 6'7", a little over 6'7" was what I think would be very accurate. So, but what we can add to that, so that's not very impressive. My female Sasquatch that I've seen, the different individuals that I've seen, I saw one in Nordegg that looked extremely similar to her. I literally, actually, in fact, when the expeditioner and I saw this female Sasquatch, what she had done is she'd taken a bite out of an apple and left it on the ground, left a beautiful track from us, and went to follow her trackway, and that's when she exposed herself to her. And I literally, the only time in my whole life, rubbed my eyes and looked at her twice, because I literally thought that someone had taken, it looked like someone took the Patterson female and put her up on that ridge and had her walking across. However, she was a little bit taller, and again, her track was over 15 inches. And this one that I have here is definitively 14.5. So Patty's a little bit smaller than these northern Sasquatch that I have up here in Canada, which makes sense again in the biology. So, but now, so again, I don't know how tall Bob Herminus is. Is he 6'6"? And now you can argue too, he alleges he was wearing some kind of football helmet or something. So maybe even if you brought that down, that football helmet might take him up, but not too much. I wouldn't think more than a couple inches. So if I ever clocked in at 6'7", is Bob Herminus 6'4"? Is he 6'3"? And then you could say, foot and blah, blah, blah. But where there is another point of contention that you really have to look at, this is extremely important, ladies and gentlemen. Here's a shot of me. So, and I have not measured up the proportions. I just threw myself in there. So actually, I'm proportionately too large in this photograph compared to her. She is, because again, I'm only about 6'3" in this photograph. I'm flat-footed, wearing really thin sandals, and she has got to be, I'm going to have her at 6'7". So that's 4 inches taller, and that doesn't show in here. But what does show very clearly is I'm a 220-pound human being. Her arms are clearly more than double the size of mine. Even look at her arm length. Her arm length is longer than mine is proportionally. I'm just a standard looking guy. If you look at my legs, my calf compared to hers, clearly she's more than double. If you look at the legs, oh my God, probably 3 times. Let's just say a little more than double. Look at the glutes. Look at the main body. She has breasts. Her head and shoulders, her arms are all significantly larger than mine. So what I'm also going to say in this deduction of mine, conservatively. So she's over 6'5", conservatively, and she is definitively 2.5 times my thickness, my weight. No question about that. Especially you want to take something into consideration is going to be bone density. It doesn't take a genius again. Just let me pull it up again because I just love it. It doesn't take a genius to go, I'm telling you, my foot is not this big. And this is a female. The males, there's a significant amount of sexual dimorphism in this species, and the males are significantly larger. Wider, larger, heavier, more muscled. But my foot, man, that's a gigantic foot, right? There's pictures of Roger Patterson holding his smaller foot up. Roger Patterson was, just a very regular, maybe on the smaller side of a human size. But so I'm going to say, so I'm 220 pounds in this photograph. I'm going to definitively say she's minimally 2.5 times as thick as me. Never mind the fact that she's taller. So that thickness alone. So if she is with all these things being said and all these things being equal, she's clearly, I would say, a minimum of 550 pounds. Not arguable. That is minimally 550 pounds. So what I would say Patty is, for her height, is approximately 6'7", approximate plus or minus 2%, and approximately 550 pounds. Barb Herminus is not that, so there's no man in that suit. We're talking now, she's got like Andre the Giant, bigger than Andre the Giant in the upper body, and certainly like Andre the Giant proportions in the lower body. We got huge glutes and very thick legs. So that's my deduction and my breakdown of how likely tall the Patterson female is. So very, very cool information. Another little surprise I had at the end of this, before I play Todd Gatewood's little documentary and I do my voiceover for it, is I'm going to be reviewing these photographs next week. I had the honor and the privilege of meeting a gentleman from Manitoba up here in Canada, or speaking with him over the phone. He sent me a couple of photographs, and fortunately I was just starting to talk and hang out with Todd Gatewood. We'll have a look at this photograph. I know it's very blobby and not clear, and there's two photographs. This native man told me that the Sasquatch were out picking cranberries on this particular day and got these incredible photographs. And since I'm actually the first person I had do a review, Todd Gatewood being an expert on photographs, I was hoping he could clean this up a little bit. Doesn't seem like he can, but on his opinion, he thinks this is authentic. It has matching proportionate looks of the Patterson female Sasquatch. Not great evidence. This isn't going to be earth-shattering, incredible evidence. But what is earth-shattering, incredible is this is a native man. So he's part Sioux and he's part Ojibwa. He lives on a reserve with other native people, and he's been interacting with Sasquatch on and off his whole life. He comes to Alberta and makes trips where he's also seen and had incredible, deeply spiritual and authentic live interactions and eyewitness accountings of Sasquatch. So I have Todd Gatewood that I've had the pleasure and the honor of meeting this week, who's definitively now becoming a colleague, a friend, someone who's wants to work with me out in the field, like this incredible new mentor. And then I've got this awesome, amazing native Ojibwa Sioux man from on a reserve in Manitoba who's getting incredible results with Sasquatch. And what's most impressed me is this man is excited to meet me, to tell me more stuff, to show me things about Sasquatch. And I'll tell you, in the conversation I had with this really amazing, wonderful native elder man up here in northern Canada, is everything I heard out of his mouth was just the absolute ring of truth. He sounded completely authentic. Everything he said to me sounded very reasonable and down to earth. In fact, he was telling me stuff that I've never talked about with Sasquatch publicly that I could really go, man, that sounds real. That sounds legit. I like this guy. And with Todd Gatewood and my interview, I'm very excited to build a future and start adding this person into, the cooperation, teaching him stuff, having him teach me stuff, having this incredible reflecting, symbiotic relationship back and forth. So that's my Sasquatch Sunday show for today. Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in. Let's play that Todd Gatewood stuff. I'll do a little bit of a voiceover as per our conversation, because he put music in his preview that I can't play and I'll get in trouble for. So let's play that. Next week, I'll have more information on these two photographs, and I'll be doing a couple more reviews of another couple impressive photographs that I've seen from Sasquatch that are floating around the internet right now. So thank you very much for tuning in. So much more to come. If you haven't joined Patreon, oh my God, get on board. I'm only doing 1,000 people. That's all I can handle. for various reasons, especially I think all the emails and all this stuff and all the interactions I'm going to have with people. I want to keep it very personal with the people that are following me. But most importantly, I'm only going to release my documentary to them. I may put it up on Netflix or one of these platforms, Amazon Prime. I don't know if I could sell it to Discovery Channel. It'll still be private though. It'll never have been publicly released. It'll be privately released just to my people. And then all the new photographs that are coming, all the videos that I've never released before that I'm actually going to give away to all my Patreon people. It's going to be absolutely amazing. Make sure you join up. It's $15 a month US to get on board for that. Hopefully you can afford it. If not, even just send me an email at discoveringbigfoot@gmail.com and I'll start giving you, I'm handing out free photographs and whatnot from there. So lots of information to come. Very exciting time for the discovery of Bigfoot because they're going to have a huge year. I'm super stoked about 2025. So stay tuned. So much more to come. Bye for now. It's a 4K definition rework of the Patterson footage. He's calling it Patty, based on the Bluff Creek, California stuff shot by Patterson, and he's got the permission to do it. So very excited about what Todd has done. Here's a little look, a little preview at what's going to be going on. Obviously, he's not even put this up in, he put it up in 1080p. He's going to have it come out in 4K. Here's what the footage used to look like and get ready. So here's still same old footage. This is what it used to look like. Used to look like old stuff. And now look at the clarity, a little piece of what's to come. 90-minute documentary by Todd Gatewood. I'm very excited about it. Look how amazing that is. Absolutely fantastic work. Congratulations, Mr. Gatewood. I will be fully supporting your work and what comes in the future. So this is where you can get it. Stay tuned. More to come. 2025. Very exciting time for all of us.